Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, this is a program to generate prime numbers up to a specific limit. So let me do let's do this program to understand how to do this. And iostream.h header file, this is used for cout and cins or whatever the functionality of this cout. What is the cout doing? This is printing something on a screen. And have you written the program for that? No. So where is the program for that? It is in a iostream.h. That is why you need to include. You are telling this pound sign in front is for the preprocessor to tell preprocessor, hey preprocessor, get that file of iostream.h ready for me because I'm gonna use a lot of functionalities from that. And this is for your ease. You have not to write that big program. Okay. Now, and also here's the using namespace, and namespace, it is used for having some standard library. We have standard library, and we're telling that everything is in a standard library. If you want to find something, find it in the standard library. It is for the processing, more quick processing, and so on. Namespaces, we will have a different video for that also. Then there is a main function in which we will create a variable num, which will be actually, I will see particular number, is it prime or not? That is the num. Limit, I will ask user how many numbers you want to generate. He says, for example, I want to generate some 20 numbers. So limit will be 20. So I have to generate 20 prime numbers. He says, no, I want 5 numbers. So limit will be 5, and I have to generate 5 numbers like 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11, I guess. Okay, if I'm right. And count is equal to 0. This time count is 0 because I have not printed any prime number. I print one prime number and count will be 1. I print two prime numbers, count will be 2. I print 5 prime numbers, count will be 5. So count will help us to check whether we are crossing the limit or not. If you just say 10 numbers, and count will tell us that we have printed, say, 5 numbers, so we have to print 5 more. So if the count becomes 10, that means we have printed 10 numbers. Then what should we do? We should stop. Okay. And half, what is half doing? Half is doing to make our processing time half, because for example I have 11 number. For example, number 11, I have to check this, is this a prime or not? So how I check a particular number is prime or not? I will see all the numbers below the 11 from the 2, that is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If I divide 11 with these numbers, remainder should not be 0. I mean, it should not be perfectly divisible. If it is divisible perfect, then it is not a prime. So half, what does it do? We do not check all the numbers up to the 11, that is from 2 to 10. So we're not going to divide 11 from 2 to 10. We're going to do only 2 to 5. Half of 11, that is 5. Because what will happen below the half will happen after the half. So if a particular number is prime or not prime, we can get this information only by processing it with the half. That means we will divide 11 by 2, 3, 4, and 5. What will happen there? This will also happen after the 5. So no need to go after the 5. So that is why we are processing only up to the half. So we are checking a particular number is prime or not up to its half. Then there is a flag, that is 1. A flag will be helpful. If flag will be 0, that means it is not a prime. And if flag is 1, it is a prime. So if it is a prime, I'm going to print it. We'll see that. The first, I will ask user to give me the limit. How many numbers you want to print? If he says some numbers, I will put that in a limit. Say he's saying 10 elements on a print, so limit will be 10. So put it there. Then I am giving some info that the prime number under this limit are, this will be heading, the prime numbers under this limit. You say 10, you say 20, and so on. Then I will run a loop for number is equal to 2, because if he's saying me, for example, 5 numbers or 6 numbers or 1 number or whatever, I have to start printing from the 2. That is why num is 2, because 1 and 0, they are not prime. So I have to print from 2. That's why I'm starting from 2. Then up to what I should go? I should go when the count crosses the limit. Is it? And what I am doing here is I'm putting flag 1. I will tell you in a short while why I'm putting flag 1 here and flag is 1 here. What is the need? I will tell you, don't worry. But what we do is, for example, let us say we have to print 5, limit is 5. Okay, 5 numbers is to be printed. Now what we do, we have start from the 2 and do the half of a 2, that is num divided by 2, that is num is 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. This loop, inner loop, which is under this for loop, actually checks whether this number is a prime or not. This num is prime or not. This is the loop which is responsible for checking whether this num is prime or not. So how we do that? We run from 2 up to the half. I'm telling you, if you want to check some number, run a loop from 2 up to the half. No need to run full, because what will happen after the half will happen after the half. So just check up to the half. Okay, so what I am doing now then is, if num percent I means this time I have a 2, will this loop run or not? This loop will not run because my I is 2 and half is 1. So 2 is not less than equal to 1. So this loop will not run. It will simply skip this out. It will go out of this for loop here. And if flag is equal to 1, yeah, flag is 1. That is, we have put it flag here 1. So it's gonna print the 2. That's num. Okay, this 2 will be printed, and we also increment count. Why? Because we have printed the 2. Because we have printed some prime number. You print prime number, you increment count, because we have to tell how many numbers I'm gonna print. And count will tell me how many numbers I have printed. So I have printed the 2. That's, I have printed 1 number. So count will be 1. Now num plus plus will happen at the end of this loop here, when it comes back to the for loop, that is here. This is the outer for loop. Okay, let me get it up. Okay, so when this comes here, after this if, it goes here, num plus plus, num becomes 3. Again the half. What is half? 3/2. That is how much? Again that is 1. So this loop will not run, this will run, and flag is 1, so I gonna print 3. Yeah, 3 is the prime number, so print it. And count plus plus, because I have now, what is in the count now? Come on, tell me. 2. Good, because I have printed 2 and 3. These 2 numbers are being printed. Good. But how many I have to print? Because I said limit is 5. Okay, so I have to print 5 numbers. I have printed only 2. Now num plus plus will happen again here. So what will be num? Num will be 3. Will it 3 or 4? It will be 4. Okay, so what is 4/2? Half of 4, that is 2. So half will be 2. 2 is equal to 2, so this loop will run this time. Okay, because we have 4. So num percent I, 4% 2, I is 2, is equal to 0. Yes, it is. So do what? Flag is equal to 0. Set flag as 0, because you know you need not to print that 4, because 4 is not a prime. So break it. No need to check further. If somebody, you have once, someone is getting perfect divisible, no need to check further, because it is not a prime. Get out of this for loop. This break will take us out of this inner for loop, and we'll come here. Flag, we have set the flag 0, so this will not run. This will go here, and in this case my flag is equal to 1 will be used, because if my flag is set 0 by some non-prime number, it will stay 0, then it will never ever print any number. So I need to reset it to 1. Now my num is how much? 5. Good. And 5/2 is 2, so this will run, but num percent I is not equal to 0. It will have some remainder. 5% 2, that is having remainder, not 0. It will go here. Flag is 1, so print 5. Similarly, it will go again. Num is now 6. Now 6 here, that will run here, because the remainder will be 0. Flag will be set to 0, and it will break out of it. Flag is not 1, because we have set it 0 here. That means it will not print num, and neither it increments count. So it goes again to the 7, and 7 will be printed, and will print up to the count is less than or equal, less than limit. Okay, because I start from the count 0. So if I say 5, it will print it. So let us give it a go to see if it's working or not. Okay, here we go. Say give count as a 5, limit as a 5, so it is printing me 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. So count will tell me where to stop. Okay, because it prints 2, count will increment. It prints 3, count will increment. Then there was a 4 also. 4 will set my flag as 0, so that will not be printed. 5, 7 and 11 and so on. And that's it for this program.